What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes a fighter. Footsteps even lighter. Doesn't mean I'm over, 'cause you're gone. What doesn't kill you makes you.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is the Balancing Act of Life with TLBTV. We love them, we thank them. And today, you're going to recognize her because she did 2 of the fabulous gluten shows with us, episodes. And this is really her passion. This is something that she just, like I am with the pH and the nutrition and all that, got Emily shut the hell up already. That's what you're like with her with this. So this is Melinda Gross again. And she is very deep into the essential oils and knows everything inside and out. In fact, she put together a lot of the formulas with our girl who does the product line when she was involved with that. But she's really kind of taken a break with having to deal with me and been diving into the essential oils, although, she's still our consultant. She's really gotten even more deeper into it, but she just doesn't see herself because you're surrounded by experts whether you know it or not. It doesn't mean it's an expert with a degree or anything like that. When somebody has such insight and depth knowledge of something and practices it, that's an expert. And that's why I consider myself an expert with the pH health and nutrition, because I live it. I've been living it for years, just as she had. So, Mindy, give us a little bit, say hello to everybody in TV land here.
Hi, guys. How are you?
And really welcome back, because this is very crucial in natural living, in balancing your life. And I want I don't know. Where do we start? Because I could start all over the place because I know everything. And I have a little thing here. I'm peeking down and looking at everybody. Just try to track. So basically, let's just tell everybody what essential oils are, and then we'll go into how you came about them. So just give everybody a little bit of a, like a 1, 2, 3 on it.
Okay. First of all, Emily, I want to thank you, and I want to thank TLB TV for having me back. I enjoyed our last interview, and this is kind of a thrill to come and do it again on something that's really, really important to me and my family's health.
Well, secret, everybody. This is a secret. I am really pushing for Melinda to do our own TLB show stemming off from us on the essential oils, because they're so remarkable and so deep. She could talk for years about them. And then it would take her off of me telling me about everything she learned too. I could just give her to you. So she's thinking about that, so I'll let you know.
Well, I also I thank you, but one thing I feel like I want to correct you, I guess, of sorts, is the expert word. I appreciate that. That is just so.
Here we go,
so
guys.
kind.
Go,
but
guys.
You know what? Instead of an expert, I like to say that I'm an educator, because there's, I think.
Amen. I'm a teacher too. Amen. I'm a teacher.
They say they're experts, but you're always learning. So it's I like to say that I'm an educator instead. But thank you, I appreciate that very much. And before I get started, I also just want to let you guys know that unfortunately, in this day and age, there's all sorts of disclaimers, and with essential oils, they are not FDA regulated. So I will try and stay as compliant as possible. And anything I have to say about essential oils and their benefits, if anyone is suffering and needs medical counseling, they need to, if there's disease, illness, injury, definitely seek out qualified healthcare professional. This is no way intended to replace that information.
This is an educational thing, just like pH healthy lifestyle. We can give you tons of people that let you know their experiences. We share our stories, our experiences, but just like modern medicine cannot make those claims, we have to tell you guys the same thing. So kudos to you, Min, for reminding everybody that, and myself. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. All right, so I guess just start at the beginning. I grew up in a medical family. My dad was a just a regular general practice doctor with good old modern medicine. But Dad always had a thing that he believed that there was more to it. So we had natural foods and remedies in the house, the good old wives' tale of old, put the onion on the bottom of your foot to draw out the fever. We had it all. We brushed our teeth with baking soda as well as toothpaste, So we had a little bit of everything. So I guess as I got older, I tried to shy away from some of what I thought was stupid or hocus pocus or yeah, okay, Dad type of thing, and just go with what I was seeing on television as far as the the name brand toothpaste that sparkled the teeth and gave you that minty fresh mouth, and
I do
hair
this with
care.
natural. My, not that I'm making a disclaimer, but you see these, yeah, this is all
Pearly
natural
white.
toothpaste and baking soda, everybody, just so you know.
Pearly whites, exactly. And so as I got older, it was also just more convenient to grab something off a shelf and pay for it at the checkout and just keep on rolling with my life. Um, it was fast forward to 2014, I guess.
Well, we got tons of
My
kids then, tons of kids. Tons of kids in a fast-paced life. That's my
yeah,
girl there.
yep. By then we already had 4 kids, but I was having my son had for a number of years been on attention deficit medicine, and it was very difficult to watch all the side effects that came with that. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. There was many times he was a zombie. Um, he wasn't comfortable in his own skin. He felt abnormal. And I had a friend from Ohio who mentioned to me that her son had the same thing, and she had been trying a natural approach, and was I interested? It couldn't have come at a better time because he was in high school. He was, I guess he had gone through his 9th grade year with medication. And when it came to his 10th grade year, he said, Mom, I just want to be normal. I want to be off medication.
Mm.
So we talked to our pediatric doctor, and he asked if we had, something else in mind. We talked to him about essential oils that my friend from Ohio had introduced me to.
Well,
And
stop
he
a little
said,
bit. Let's stop right
okay,
there because I love what you're doing. Just
okay.
kind of go in there a little bit. Now that you've actually mentioned essential oils, what are essential oils? Brief summary so you can say, you took your son from this, awful
Yeah.
state. It is. Your child to be on the
That's
medication like
good.
that. It's awful. I don't care what anybody thinks. Everybody
Well,
throws around too much. You never heard that shit when I was in school. So
no.
let's tell everybody what essential oils are because you're talking about medication and of course not a disclaimer and blah blah blah.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead.
essential oils are actually the insides of the plants. They're they're found. Essential oils are found inside the leaves, the stems, the it,
I
it's
know.
the
I
without
know you don't want to put
it's hard
emphasis on
because I
words.
know what
I
it
get it.
is, but without the words, and it's very, I want to show you visuals, but I guess what it is they're liquids that are usually distilled out of the plants.
Okay. So they're distilled.
They it's
That's pretty good.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Now I
yes.
understand.
It's their respective parts, which is their seeds, their bark, their leaves, the flowers, the fruit, etc. And one of the factors that determines the purity of that is its chemical constituents and its compounds.
Okay.
For thousands of years, and it's even in the Bible, it's mentioned over 500 times in various books in the Bible, the use of essential oils. So we've been using them since basically the beginning of time to treat our ailments and for beauty purposes. And it's they're ancient remedies, basically, is what it is, and it comes from the earth. It's not man-made, it comes from the earth.
I love it.
So
I love it. I love
with
it.
and that's, it goes back to kind of when we did the celiac and the back to basics with eating. You're eating the fruits, you're eating the vegetables, you're eating your proteins, and it's not man-made. It's from the earth. It's from God.
Amen.
Some people
Amen.
don't like hearing that, but it is what it is. It's your higher power. It's the universe. However you want to say it. For me, it's God. It's man. It's God made. So
No,
he
that's
seems
fine.
to know
You're
what he's doing.
absolutely right. Now I'm going to lead you back because now you've given everybody just a briefness on what the
Okay.
essential oils, and we're going to do a Mama Mindy oils part 2, which is going to dive into the specifics of like each oil, and what they're, have been thought to, other people's experience with them and what they may do. So
Okay.
she's going to go back to this, back to with what went on with her son, and you'll get a little bit of an understanding from where they went from ADHD to where they are now.
Okay. So we had gone to our pediatrician and mentioned that Ed wanted to get off the chemical medicine, and he felt that was a very noble thing. Our pediatrician, thank goodness, is very open to our suggestions as well. And he said he would definitely work with my son and wean him off, because you can't stop that medicine cold turkey. It has enough side effects as it is, but to stop a medicine cold turkey can, cause all sorts of other trouble. And we slowly worked off, as we worked off the attention deficit medicine, we increased the essential oils. So we introduced the oils slowly. It ended up being a blend that we used, and with that combination, we introduced them to make sure that he wasn't sensitive to them, because as with anything, you can be allergic. It's less likely with an essential oil that you're allergic, but you always want to introduce slowly and in small spaces and areas on your body, or however you choose to use them. And it worked well. We were able to make the transition, and to this day, we've been able to keep him off of pharmaceuticals.
Wow. That's a phenomenal story. It's your story. It happened to you. And I think that's great. And I have to, and like she says, you don't dive into anything. You enter into it slowly. You test different areas. You don't start drinking the crap. You have to do things with, it's just like the medicine on the bottle. It's got labels. It's got, warnings. It's got this. You have to do the same thing with this. You practice that kind of stuff, especially with anything you bring in. I don't care if it's natural or anything. You have another story that I hold to my heart with your father, and
Cool.
and him being, unfortunately, I'm going to lead her to things that she probably wasn't thinking she was going to, so she's going there now. But you don't have to get yourself real in depth. But I just really, it was very heartwarming to hear what was going on with her dad and her fear, and what she was able to bring him. and I think the oils come with love. So I think things that you can transfer your energy and something you believe in and you feel love with and for, I really think a lot of that has to do with the two. So go ahead. Quick scenario about Pop.
Okay. You get that phone call.
Without crying. No crying on this show. We only do this.
Happy face. All right. I think everybody, first of all, has their aha moment when essential oils will work for them. And for instance, with the story about my son, the blend that worked for my son might not be the blend that works for Joe living next door to me if he decided to use it. Different oils, different folks. You know, it some work, some don't. You keep working till you find what does work. Ed was my first aha moment. My second aha moment also came in 2014 when I got a phone call that my dad wasn't doing so good. I was going to need to come out and visit. We scheduled it for Thanksgiving time. He had had a surgery that didn't go well. He went into the surgery a practicing psychiatrist, and he came out of the surgery, I say, like a vegetable. Um, he didn't regain he didn't regain his strength, his mental capacity. Everything just kind of disappeared. So now I'm about 3 weeks away from going out to see my dad. I apologize for Poochie in the background. She hears a noise outside, so you may hear her chime in and bark a little bit. So I apologize. But I get the call from my sister. You know, let's make this these arrangements. It was about 3 weeks from Thanksgiving, and no sooner had we hung up the phone, within a couple hours, she called back and said, "We're changing the ticket. You need to come tomorrow." So as I tell the story, I'm a little goosebumpy.
Now let do that.
So of course I quickly got ready and I came out, and all I could think about is, you're not leaving me now. We have too much time. You have to see your children graduate, your grandchildren graduate. You need to see your granddaughter walk down the aisle. All these thoughts are running through your head. What was it that I could bring to him to help him? And all I could think about is modern medicine was currently failing him, and I needed to do what he did for us as we were growing up, he did for my grandmother when she was in a nursing home, and it was go back to nature, go back to the holistic healing. So I gathered some of my oils. I checked with my books. I checked with several friends who had a lot more knowledge and experience than I did with the oils. And I determined that frankincense and lavender were the oils I was going to take home with me, or fly home with me. And at that point, I didn't even know if I could take them on the airplane with all the regulations. I was able to get through security fine because the oils, the bottle are soft, and as long as you show them, you know, what you have, they look at it and they let it go through. So I got to the hospital, and my dad didn't know who I was. So of course that right there was absolutely devastating. And believe it or not, right before this interview, I was looking through an old notebook, and I had sat down in the 2 weeks that we were in the hospital. I wrote, you know, different things about how I was feeling, what I was seeing, my prayers. And so this is kind of, it brings me back to talk about it right now. I wasn't expecting this. Thank you, Emilie.
No problem. What am I here for?
So my sister, who is also in medical practice, had to continue on because she had been taking care of Daddy for the last couple of weeks prior to me arriving in another state. He was in Iowa. That's where they live. My mom and dad live. They did the surgery there. They tried to do most of the healing there. And my sister had gone home because mom said something's not right. And they immediately got him an ambulance service and took him back to Illinois, where she lives and practices, because it was so stressful and difficult on my mom, and she didn't have the medical background or terminology to be able to talk to the doctors and make sure, you know, they were doing certain tests and so on and so forth.
Right.
So she asked if I wanted to stay at the hospital with him, and I ended up staying there every night for 2 weeks, except to take a break to go downstairs and eat. The nurses would give me a break. I would go and take a shower at my sister's house and come back, but I was constantly by my dad's side. Now, as far as the oils, what I did was I had, like I said, it was a frankincense and the lavender with their massive healing properties. And I would use them topically, which is
I
topic.
want to interject something real
Yeah.
quick. And I don't really, I have my faith. I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and I know that a lot of people believe in their gods or a different energy, and I appreciate that because it's all good. But frankincense, myrrh, and what else was it? And where did they come from? I mean, where have we heard from them that we would relate? Just real quick.
If you think about baby Jesus and the gifts of the three wise men brought him frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Frankincense and myrrh are used essential oils. Myrrh is a plant. The frankincense is resin off of a frankincense tree, which I learned about this last month in an extensive seminar about oils and where they're sourced. And the frankincense is amazing what you have to do to get the frankincense. It's so precious just in its harvesting. You see why the wise men brought it as a gift of health. You know, they knew what they were doing back then.
Yeah. See,
So
that's the
yeah,
whole
it goes
thing.
back to the
Right
wise
back to
men and baby
basics, right
Jesus.
back to what's in the book, the manual. And I had to learn that. I had to learn it. I had to get back to basics because I got slammed with stage 3, cancer. So being back to basics many years now has gotten me there. So I just wanted to point that out. But go ahead, you take your mixture and how you did it with Dad. Sorry, I'll try
No,
to.
that's okay. No, that's okay. So what I did was I used it topically. Usually essential oils are used. There are 3 ways to use essential oils, as long as they are pure essential oils. It would be topically, which means it's on your skin, and aromatically, which means it's in the air, and then internally, which you would actually take either by dropping into your mouth or put into like a veggie capsule and taking it as a supplement. With my father, we use them topically, and of course topically, also isn't you're getting it aromatically as well when you're using it topically. I did his feet, his legs, I did his shoulders, the back of his neck, and his hands. And I couldn't go near his heart because of his heart surgery that he had. So I had to stay away from any open wounds. But the feet seem to be the jury is still out. Let me explain something. When you do your topically, many times we say that it's best, educators say that it's best to put it on the bottoms of your feet unless you need to put it in a certain area, such as like for headaches or, something else. But the feet have the largest pores in the body,
Really?
and the thinnest, believe it or not, the thinnest untouched skin from all of the elements that we go through daily, from the outside air touching it. They're not touching your feet, so it's sort of a pure way to get them. And in 22 seconds, the oils are able to. This is kind of cool. This I didn't know actually until recently. And when 22 seconds, the essential oil is able to reach your brain molecules. In 2 minutes of having the oils aromatically or topically or internally, it's able to get into your bloodstream.
Really?
Within 20 minutes, the essential oils are within your whole body and its cells. That's how quickly they work. And the frankincense I did mixed with the lavender, and I did it several times a day. And the miracle to me was that within the 2 weeks of me being there, my dad went from not knowing who I was to being able to get moved out of the hospital and into a recovery rehab so he could learn how to walk and everything all over again. And this was after 4 weeks of modern medicine not being able to help him the way that we thought it should.
Amen. Essential oils with a loving environment, you can't go wrong. And it's a beautiful story, because maybe, and then this is me being weird. Listen, everybody, I've been fasting. It's my 4th day. And in fact, you're going to laugh, because I wanted to ask Mindy. I got this lemon. I overdose on shit. Like peppermint oil. I had it put in a diffuser. You had to see what I did. I had to call Mindy and say, man, I think. And she's like, okay, well, how many drops did you put in? I said, well, I really love peppermint. So I throw it in a diffuser. She's like, and she gives me that look. And then she has this, when she's discussed it with me, and she did that. So apparently I overdosed, but it really smelled good. But it was in the back of my throat. So guys, really, like she says,
2 or 3 drops is all it takes.
But I've been using, I'm hiding who it is, but it's the purest on the market, but I'm using the lemon. And because I'm fasting, I've been fasting since Monday, late Monday, and drinking distilled water. It's a water fast. Dr. Wayne is coaching me, guys, so everybody thinks that I'm more nuttier than I am. But I put it on my wrist, because if I get, I'm alert but when I get the smell of it, I just get a lift and I don't know if I'm using the right words for it, but it is a lift, and it's like a defogging. What does the lemon oil do? Because I said it first. What is it supposed to do? Because who knows what me.
It's a cleansing oil. Citrus oils are a cleansing oil, and historically, it's used to fight food poisoning. It's used to lower blood pressure, air disinfectant. I mean, the uses are crazy. You could use it.
But how about what I'm doing? Breathing it in that way.
Well, that goes with the uplifting.
Oh,
Citrus
okay. So that's
bean.
what's happening. That's a better word. Uplifting. That's exactly what I experience. An uplift.
Yeah, it's uplifting. It helps with, grief and sorrow, exhaustion. It helps to rise the brain cells above it, rise your body above it.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's why you find that we drink lemon water to cleanse out our insides.
Yeah.
The
That's true.
lemon oil.
That's true.
When you add in lemon to your water, what are you doing it for? Not just taste, because lemon by
cleanse.
itself is pretty
Yeah.
tart. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's a
helps with
definite
the
blend, but I
antioxidants.
use it like that, and I love the oil. Oh my God, the orange one. And then there's a mix, which is orange, grapefruit. What else the other? Orange, lemon, right. But it's a citrus mix. Oh my God. And I'm like, and when I do that, I'm sniffing my wrist. I'm not doing some weird shit like an alien. So.
I was wondering what you were doing. That explains it now. You're using it to for that pick me up. And actually, you could throw in a drop of your peppermint because it's actually good for the bouncing back and picking you up as well.
Well, I did that last night, and she said a drop, but here's asshole again. And
Oh my gosh, were your eyes like burning? Oh my gosh.
I'm like, why are my arms so hot? I feel good.
Your sinuses were probably really clear too, weren't they?
And he's like, what is that? Rock walked by. Sorry about that, guys. And he's like, what is that? And I'm like, I use Minnie's peppermint. And he's like, I think you used too much. I'm like, yeah, you think? It seems like, but it wasn't. I didn't get any. I didn't get anything from it. So it was warm, but it didn't do anything. And you know how sensitive I am. So there's another good testimonial.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm glad, and that you can use them both for a little pick me up. I know my youngest daughter, made her own little back to school kit, and what she did was actually mix the two together in a tiny little vial that she could take to school and discreetly put in the palm of her hands and smell them and aromatically pick herself up. And she used the wild orange and the peppermint and just put it as a little blend in the two and just kind of inhale and woohoo, there you go. Not so tired after lunch anymore.
Ooh, it really is. and it is. It's nice, but use sparingly, like she says, and you gotta, especially if you use a diffuser. I can't say enough because I'm like down in my laboratory and I have my salt lamp and I have my diffuser on, and then I put my oils in. Sorry about this, guys. I got trucks out there. I put the diffuser on, but that really penetrates. So a couple of drops, don't overdo it like some people. I'm not mentioning names. But
No names.
you know what, guys? We're about out of time here, but Mindy basically, covered what we needed to do in this first about how she came to the oils, how she's used them, and a little bit of the history on the oils. The next one we're going to do, part 2, you're going to look forward to, because the more common used and how they're used and why they're used, and maybe some of the not instructions, but a little bit of some advice on, like she was saying about the headaches, you put it here. So there's going to be a couple of things that she shares with that. And if you're somebody that's just tired of taking medicine and stuff like that I did, and want something that's just really good for my body,
or you want to try something new.
Absolutely. Try it. Just try something new. That's all you're doing is trying something new. It's an education. If anything, and you really just don't, like it, you just put it out for the holidays and stuff like that to make your house smell better. And then it's better than air fresheners and stuff out there that are filled with chemicals getting into your lungs, breaking down your cellular structure and all that other stuff. So if you like that over this, then you go for it.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to reap if you use it in a diffuser and use it aromatically, it's making your house smell wonderful. You're not getting the chemicals. And in many cases, it's going to have some healing benefits that you don't even realize that you're getting. So it's a win-win situation.
It absolutely is. And with that said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Mindy, thank you again for your education expert advice. Had to get it. But thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Balancing Act of Life at TLBTV. Please come and take a look at Mindy's bio, where it shows you and links you to her so you can learn a lot more. Our next episode will follow this in sequence. episode 2. And again, she'll dive into things more. So that is it for now. Thank you, TLB TV, for letting us get out there and get people to balance their life in a natural way where they can nourish their body and love their family and love themselves. Thanks again, everyone. Over and out. Peace out.